Rising majestically in the heart of the Tibetan plateau, Mount Kailash stands as a beacon of mystery and divinity. Revered across cultures and religions, it is more than a mountain, it is a symbol of the cosmic connection between earth and the heavens. Join us as we explore the mythical aspects of this sacred mountain. What makes Mount Kailash truly unique is its universal significance. It is a sacred site in 4 religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Bon. In Hinduism, legends about Mount Kailash is that it is the home of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is said to reside there with his consort, the goddess Parvati. Hindu legend tells that he sits atop the sacred mountain, meditating in perpetual stillness surrounded by divine energies. One description in the Vishnu Purana of the mountain states that its 4 faces are made of crystal, ruby, gold, and lapis lazuli. It is a pillar of the world and is located at the heart of 6 mountain ranges symbolizing a lotus. The Vishnu Purana states that it lies in the center of the world surrounded by 6 mountain ranges similar to a lotus, one of which is the Himalayas. Hindu pilgrims do the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra to seek blessings and enlightenment by paying homage to the abode of Lord Shiva. Mount Kailash is known as Mount Meru in Buddhist texts. It is central to its cosmology, and a major pilgrimage site for some Buddhist traditions. Vajrayana Buddhists believe that Mount Kailash is the home of the Buddha Kakrasavara, also known as Demchok, who represents supreme bliss. There are numerous sites in the region associated with Padmasambhava, whose tantric practices in holy sites around Tibet are credited with finally establishing Buddhism as the main religion of the country in the 7th to 8th century AD. For the Bon people, the mountain is the abode of sky goddess Sipamun, and the mountain was the center of the ancient Bon Empire of Zhangzong. As per Tibetan beliefs, the mountain was the center of the universe mandala and the source of the mythical lion, horse, peacock, and elephant rivers which flowed in the 4 cardinal directions. In the 11th century, Tibet was a land of profound spiritual power, where the ancient Bon religion and Vajrayana Buddhism coexisted. It was during this time that 2 legendary figures would clash in a battle that would determine the supremacy of their traditions. Milarepa was a former sorcerer who transformed into one of Tibet's greatest Buddhist saints. His profound meditation and ascetic practices made him a revered figure in Vajrayana Buddhism. Opposing him was Naro Bonchung, a formidable sorcerer and champion of the Bon religion, which had existed in Tibet for centuries before the rise of Buddhism. Both men were known for their magical powers, but neither could claim dominance in the spiritual landscape. In the midst of their contest, Naro Bonchung, seated on his magical drum, soared up the mountain with incredible speed. Milarepa's followers were perplexed to see their master sitting motionless, deep in meditation. This was not an ordinary battle of magic, it was a contest of true spiritual mastery. As Naro Bonchung neared the summit, Milarepa suddenly rose, radiant and powerful, riding on a beam of sunlight. With this miraculous display of inner power, he overtook his rival, reaching the peak of Mount Kailash first. It was said that by the early 12th century, Milarepa's victory had solidified his status as one of Tibet's greatest spiritual figures. Naro Bonchung, though defeated, was not destroyed. His Bon teachings would continue to thrive, even as Buddhism became the dominant force in Tibetan spirituality. According to Jain scriptures, Ashtapada mountain, situated near the revered Mount Kailash, holds profound spiritual significance. It is regarded as the sacred site where Rishabhadeva, the first Tirthankara of Jainism, attained moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Jain tradition narrates that following Rishabhadeva's attainment of nirvana, his son, Emperor Bharata Chakravartin, commemorated this divine event by constructing a grand complex at Ashtapada. This complex included 3 stupas and 24 shrines dedicated to the Tirthankaras, each adorned with idols studded with precious gemstones. This holy site was named Sinishta, symbolizing its unparalleled sanctity and spiritual grandeur. In Hinduism, Mount Meru is described as the cosmic mountain, often considered the center of all physical, metaphysical, and spiritual universes. According to texts such as the Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Puranas, Mount Meru is surrounded by concentric seas and continents, with its peak reaching the heavens. It is believed to be the abode of the gods, with Lord Brahma residing at its summit and Lord Shiva meditating on its slopes. In Buddhist cosmology, Mount Meru, or Sumeru, holds a similar central position. It is described as the axis of the universe in texts like the Abhidharma and Sutra Pitaka. Sumeru is surrounded by 4 continents, each inhabited by beings based on their karma, with Jambudvipa being the southernmost and considered the human realm. The summit of Mount Meru is home to the Trayastrimsha heaven, where the gods, including Indra, reside. In Vajrayana Buddhism, Mount Kailash is often equated with Mount Meru and venerated as a sacred site, symbolizing the path to enlightenment. In 1999, Dr. Ernst Moldashev, a Russian ophthalmologist, led an expedition to Tibet, during which he and his team speculated that it might be an ancient man-made pyramid, potentially the largest in the world. This theory posits that Mount Kailash is not a natural formation but rather an architectural marvel, surrounded by a complex of 100 smaller pyramids. Furthermore, proponents of this theory claim that Kailash is part of a global network of ancient structures, connected through geometric alignments to other iconic sites such as the Pyramid of Giza in Egypt and Teotihuacan in Mexico. Supporters argue that these connections could indicate that Mount Kailash and its surrounding structures serve as the center of an ancient energy grid, potentially explaining paranormal activities observed in these areas. These ideas, while speculative and lacking scientific proof, resonate with the mystical and spiritual significance that many cultures attribute to Mount Kailash. Mount Kailash's unique geographical positioning has sparked intrigue and speculation throughout history. Notably, the distance from Mount Kailash to both Stonehenge in the United Kingdom and the North Pole is approximately 6,666 kilometers, while the distance to the South Pole is about 13,332 kilometers, exactly double that to the North Pole. This precise symmetry has led to theories that Mount Kailash might not be a natural formation but a colossal, ancient man-made pyramid, potentially linked to a global energy grid connecting other monumental structures like the pyramids of Giza and Teotihuacan. The idea of global energy alignments was popularized in the 1920s by Alfred Watkins, who introduced the concept of ley lines in his book The Old Straight Track. This theory was expanded in the 1970s by New Age thinkers who proposed that sacred sites form a network of energy lines crisscrossing the Earth. Mount Kailash, shrouded in spiritual and mythical significance, is often associated with claims of time distortion. Anecdotal accounts from pilgrims and travelers describe peculiar experiences, such as rapid hair and nail growth, suggesting accelerated biological aging. These phenomena, while captivating, lack scientific validation and are often attributed to the profound psychological and physiological effects of the high-altitude environment. The spiritual weight of the mountain, revered as the axis mundi in Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, and Bon traditions, may amplify these perceptions, creating a sense of altered reality. Despite its mystical allure, experts suggest that such experiences stem from natural altitude-related factors and heightened spiritual focus rather than actual temporal anomalies. Mount Kailash, revered as a spiritual center and shrouded in mystery, is also tied to the enduring legend of the Yeti, or abominable snowman. In Himalayan folklore, the Yeti is described as a large, ape-like creature, often believed to inhabit remote, sacred areas like Kailash. Tibetan Buddhism sometimes portrays the Yeti as a spiritual entity or protector of the mountains, adding a layer of reverence to its mythos. The mountain's isolated and inaccessible terrain fuels speculation about its potential to harbor such elusive beings. While stories of mysterious tracks and unverified sightings captivate imaginations, scientific investigations have yet to provide concrete evidence, often attributing these phenomena to misidentified wildlife, like bears. Regardless of its physical existence, the Yeti symbolizes the uncharted mysteries of the Himalayas, reinforcing Mount Kailash's aura as a place where myth and nature converge. At the base of the sacred Mount Kailash lie two lakes of stark contrast, embodying duality in their essence and spiritual significance. Lake Manasarovar, one of the highest freshwater lakes in the world, is a symbol of purity and divinity. Its crystal-clear waters are believed to cleanse the soul and wash away sins, drawing pilgrims from across the globe to immerse themselves in its spiritual sanctity. This lake is a manifestation of life and enlightenment, reflecting the heavens above in its tranquil expanse. In sharp opposition lies Lake Rakshastal, a saltwater lake associated with darkness and malevolence in Hindu mythology. Its very name, derived from the Sanskrit word for demons, evokes fear and unease, its desolate waters standing as a metaphor for chaos and negative energies. Together, these twin lakes form a symbolic representation of cosmic balance, good and evil, light and shadow, the sacred and the profane. This contrast mirrors the philosophical dualities inherent in the human experience, making them not just geographical wonders but profound spiritual symbols nestled in the shadow of the world's most revered mountain. Unclimbed Summit. The world's highest peak, Mount Everest, has been summited by over 7,000 climbers, yet Mount Kailash, standing significantly lower at 6,638 meters, remains unconquered. Why has this sacred mountain defied human ambition? Is it merely due to its challenging terrain and sudden weather changes, or is there a deeper connection to the spiritual energy that surrounds it? Many believe the answer lies in the profound reverence that Mount Kailash commands. Recognized as a sacred site in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Bon, in 2001, the Chinese government officially banned climbing attempts, preserving its sanctity after a Spanish team sought permission to scale it. Even before the ban, mountaineers like Reinhold Messner refused to climb out of respect for its spiritual significance. Stories of severe weather during early British expeditions are often interpreted by devotees as manifestations of divine disapproval. For many, Mount Kailash's untouched peak is not a mark of human limitation but a symbol of humanity's recognition of the sacred, a place where nature and spirituality intertwine, demanding awe and humility rather than conquest. In conclusion, Mount Kailash remains an enduring enigma, a sacred peak, a center of cosmic energy, and a realm of mysteries. Whether it's the abode of the divine or a place of natural wonder, its allure is undeniable. What do you guys think? Are these legends myth or reality? Let us know in the comments below.